The new update for iPhone 16, iOS 18.2, says they're way down the bottom, at the bottom of the list. It's going to fix, let me quote, an issue where night mode photos in camera could appear degraded. That's one word for it, degraded. So I've updated this. Let's test it. The problem that we are talking about, the degraded that we're talking about, is these great blue lines that we were getting down ever since the launch of this phone. And if you're a regular viewer on this channel and you've seen a big decrease in the amount of iPhone 16 astro photography, that issue is the reason why. Well, they're taking a photo right now. It's going to take 30 seconds, put it on a tripod, go maximum night mode and take a photo. There's a little bit of light from my camp that I've got set up over here and a little bit of light from the video light. So it should pick up some of the trees. We're not going to see too many stars here tonight, to be honest, because the clouds are moving in a little bit, but it is dark. And this right now should trigger that blue lines, if it's there. And my gut feeling, because so many people had the problem, but so many more of you didn't have this problem, I still think, regardless of what the outcome of this is, I still think there's faulty sensors out there somewhere. And if this is fixed, well, is it fixed or is it hidden? Let's check it out. Definitely better. Definitely better. How's the ISO on this? The ISO is only at 2000. That's interesting, because in the testing that I've done with this to see, as the update was done, to test it on the public, not only public, on the developer beta 2.4, I think, is when this came in, if for those who do use the developer updates. What I worked out when this was happening, the best I can figure is this phone isn't punching the ISO up as high as it was before. I'm going to take a photo with the 15 Pro Max and we'll see what we get with it. And when this 15 Pro Max is finished taking its photo, I'll do a couple more photos. I'll turn all the lights of the camp and everything off, and we'll take some more photos and we'll see what happens. Because the iPhones used to be the best at doing astro with a subject in the foreground, and this will actually test that, because there's a lot of trees here at the moment where I am. So the trees will be lit up by all the camp lights that I've got going on. My immediate thought after seeing that first photo, that doesn't appear to be as good, but we'll turn all the lights on and everything off and we'll see what we get. I've got another spot here with some more trees around. I'm going to take a series of photos basically of the 15 and the 16. We'll compare them at the end, but I want to give it all the options that we can. There's a bit of cloud coming over at the moment, like I said, so that we do see some stars, but not that many. All right, I'm turning everything off. We'll get some more photos with no light whatsoever, and then we'll compare all these photos side by side and we'll see if it's actually fixed. With being as dark as it is right now, this will push the ISO as high as we can get it right here now. I expect ISO right now to be above 6000 on an iPhone. It's very dark. For those that don't remember what I'm talking about here with the blue lines, this is the sort of photo that I'm talking about. And you can see very clearly, I'm almost in exactly the same spot that I took that photo back then. And those blue lines are just unusable as far as the photos that were coming out of this phone was. Now, when we did this video initially, a lot of people said iPhones can't do this, you're wasting your time, you're complaining about nothing. That's simply not the case. It's just not true. Phones can absolutely do what we're trying to achieve here. And I'm really hoping that this is now fixed. The funniest things about all of this is that all the hours that I've spent on the phone to Apple tech support, and at the end of the day, they've gone, no, this is within spec and there's no fix for it. You're not replacing your phone. It's within spec. And a lot of you guys out there who also tried to have your phone replaced, they said it was within spec. So if this fixes it, it's very interesting to, on one hand, they say this is within spec, and on the other hand, they go, oh, we're going to release something here to fix what we just told you was not actually a fault. All right, let's have a look at these photos. The first one I want to look at here, there's a fair bit of light. You can see there the clouds have come in a fair bit. There are some stars in the sky, and the stars are reasonably sharp. Interestingly, the foreground is also reasonably sharp. They may have actually resolved this. What's the ISO doing on this photo? 5,000. ISO at 5,000, I would have expected to be starting to see these lines coming up. I'll have a look at the 15 Pro in the same situation. And there it is there, and it looks like the 15 has more stars. That's at ISO 4000. This is the same time, the same photo. Actually, no, there's not more stars there at all. It's only that I moved it a little bit. I've realised what's happened there. So it looks like this has been resolved. We'll go and have a look at the photos that I took just over here, where there was some foreground lighting, and that looks as good as I would expect. I would expect exactly that out of this phone, out of any previous iPhone. The interesting one is going to be the totally dark one, which is this one. Ooh, that is shooting at ISO 8000. I absolutely would have 100% seen blue lines on this photo, and I'm not seeing blue lines on this photo. If I go and look at the 15 Pro Max in that same photo, it's only shooting 3200 ISO. And this one here is shooting 8000, and it's definitely a better photo on the 16 Pro. Interesting. Well, it looks like they've actually resolved this issue for us. So if you are shooting astro with this phone, even though it was all within spec and everything else, let's go and get that updated to 18.2, and you should be able to get out there and get some reasonably good photos with the 16 Pro. It only took 2-3 months, however long it took. Anyway, see you next week.